So the second champion is Syndra, right?
Yes, the second champion is Syndra. That's actually SY. There you go. And Syndra is a really, really unique champion. I was actually practicing with her earlier here. She's a Dark Sovereign, but her kind of really unique mechanic are these force orbs that she has that she can control in really interesting ways around her and manipulate. So when we actually get into the game, you'll see this. But I'm pretty sure there's no other. This is a really, really unique mechanic, not just to LoL, but just the genre in general. So we're pretty excited about this.
Is she the Kassadin's daughter?
I actually don't think so. No, she's just purple, and that's okay.
Because
yes, thank you. Yes, yeah, she's not tied to Kassadin in any direct way, but she does have her own background. And you can also see too, one thing that we're pretty excited about is the quality of the art and the splashes continues to get better and better. And as you can see, we're not in the Rengar room. We have a Rengar room with Rengar's face about to gnaw your face off. Syndra is a traditional kind of AP mid caster in the form of that she should go mid, but that's about where the traditional elements stop. So the first thing you want to get here is Q. So Q actually, pretty standard ability, does damage in an area and creates an orb. And you can actually create multiple of these orbs. As the skill increases in level, the cooldown reduces also, so you can create more and more. So wherever you place that, it's a small area of effect. Wherever you place that orb, you can see those orbs floating around her there.
Dancing?
Yes. So her kind of tone, other than the dance there, her tone, she's very dark, she's a good dancer. Obviously, she looks pretty powerful. She is all about kind of dominating force and kind of energy around her. So her Q spell actually will lay down a small AoE that'll do a small amount of damage, but what it'll actually also do that's more important to Syndra's core gameplay concept is it'll leave one of those orbs wherever you place it. Now, at level 1, this is just an orb that's kind of floating around, not doing much, did a little damage, you can use it to farm, you can use it to harass, but as you actually start to increase and add to her skill, so you can see the orbs laying down, you can't do anything with it right now, but the fun really and the depth really comes in when you start to add the other skills. So when you add next skill, when you hit 2, you should add your W, and what W actually allows you to do is pick up one of the orbs that you've placed, and then you can actually trail it, you actually kind of like drag it along with like force energy, and then you can actually
so it's something like Orianna with many orbs.
It's kind of like Orianna, but what happens there is that you can actually then throw the actual orb other places, and it actually is kind of like lops down and does damage where it's at. And you can actually get multiple of these orbs going. You can also use it to pick. You can also use your W to pick up minions. So you can actually pick up and fling minions around, similar to the style that you would an orb.
You're gonna fling minions, but
yes, you can actually fling minions. So,
but only the minions on your side, or also the minions on
the enemy, right? So you can actually see the orb, but the orbs time out after a certain amount of time. So it's not like Orianna in the sense of Orianna's really about the managing her ball and kind of like positioning it and moving it from place to place. Syndra's really about quickly adapting to the situation and being able to really quickly manipulate multiple orbs at the same time. So her E spell that you've added, actually what it does is it's a cone AoE, so it does a small amount of damage, but what it also does is when there's orbs in that path, it actually fires, it actually pushes those orbs in that direction of the spell, and those orbs, anything that they contact, push back. So you can actually push waves of minion, you can actually disrupt team fights with it. And again, it's all about very careful positioning of not only the orbs, but yourself. And so you can see there's a lot of depth and a really, really high barrier to skill mastery. So you can actually see push that orb through, it kind of dazes everybody, and it'll actually push champions back, etc.
It's definitely not the easiest champion to play.
This is not the most straightforward as far as mastering champion that we've ever made. No, she is pretty straightforward in the sense of being able to pick up the abilities very easily, but masteries, there's a very high skill ceiling on that, obviously. And basically what you want to do is you want to focus on mana regen and damage, and you want to be constantly laying down orbs, throwing them, manipulating them, using the spells to push back. And then when you actually unlock your ultimate at level 6, any amount of orbs that you have on the field, you can actually target an enemy, and all those orbs from whatever direction come flying through and hit that champion for a lot of damage. And also they do a little bit of pass-through damage when they actually go through minions or team fights or whatever. So again, it's really all about positioning multiple of those orbs around the battlefield. So
aren't you worried about her being, as they say, OP?
Well, we always pay attention to how she actually has a custom recall animation there, if you notice.
Like all new champions?
I don't know if we do it all champions, but it's definitely, we want to consistently add more to each champion, make them better, etc. But, so, you know, balance is always a consideration. Syndra is such a, in the same sense as Zyra is a very kind of high skill cap caster, a lot of depth, a lot of ability and utility there. You know, 50 people at the office looking at balance, like, we can do so much, but when we get onto live, and actually now you can start laying down multiple orbs now. Right, now you can use like your E to push back, and so you can actually, they disappear pretty quickly, so it is very, very much precise timing and setup.
You know, I was asking about her being so OP because you know how it was with Zyra. She was released and then she was immediately nerfed because it turned that she's overpowered.
Right. Zyra had a lot of things going for her. She had a really high amount of burst damage and a lot of sustained damage also, plus the utility on the ult's very great. So I think we've learned a little bit from Zyra with Syndra in the sense of the complex champions. We have to kind of pick, do we want burst damage, do we want sustained damage? And so I'm pretty confident that she'll do all right, but as always, you know, we do what we can, but as soon as we put it to live and there's hundreds of thousands of people playing it, you know, we just have to be responsive at that point, because the amount of play time and iteration and strategies that people are going to develop is just, you know, hundreds of thousands of times more than we can do internally. So we just have to be very responsive. We have our PBE, which we're using for a lot of testing and etc. So, you know, we always keep an eye on it. So am I worried about it? No more than any other champion.
Can we see her ultimate now?
Yeah, so what you want to do with the ultimate is you're going to actually have to lay out a bunch of orbs for it to be really effective. And you can probably kill Shenbot here, but you're super low on mana, so. You can actually recall it and then teleport back out, yeah. Or you can teleport to bottom lane, maybe. Just for the sake of the demo here. Getting close on that custom recall there. There you go. So obviously one of her balancing limits is mana constraint. Right, so he's spending time buying a lot of regen here. Oh yeah, Silverbot's ripe for the ganking down there. So throw out another orb as soon as you can, and then, oh, they're all running off smartly. You can chase after them. Oh yeah, so throw one orb on top of her, or you just do that. But you can see how, and actually that spawns multiple orbs now. So you actually, but it's enhanced even further when you have multiple orbs of your own out.
Master Yi is doing some serious damage.
Yeah, Master Yi bot. I mean, it's pretty simple to make a good Master Yi bot. Oh,
you can do it. Oh, we can do it.
Are any of you guys the caster in the group?
Oh, it's our editor-in-chief. He's not at the Gamescom this year.
So.